players. Today I will be reviewing the game Doomlings, which is a fun card game about the end of the world. I'd say it takes about half an hour to play. It is a fairly easy, straightforward game. The only way it would take longer is if you argue about family rules or kind of confusions in cards and stuff like that.
Since the game's setup is primarily just dealing out all of the cards, I would say maybe 5 minutes of setup time for Doomlings. Not much at all.
I would say yes. The base rules of the game are pretty simple. You play a card and then you stabilize to make sure you have the correct number of cards in your hand. The only parts of the rules that are kind of difficult are some minor things that it's oh, well, we played this card, so this means this, but it kind of contradicts this card. And in those situations, you get to determine the rules as a group while you're playing.
I think a practice round definitely wouldn't hurt, especially since once you have a sense of how the game works, it is super, super simple to play. I definitely think a practice round would be better for this game than it would for most others.
Is the game transportable? Yes, it is very transportable. It is roughly the size of this box. However, when I did buy this at Gen Con, I bought the base game, the mat, and an expansion, and it came in the biggest bag I have ever seen. Looks like this. So, based off the bag was unnecessarily big, but more or less very easily transportable.
I would say maybe not super young, but upper elementary school, absolutely. Since a lot of the cards do have very specific abilities, there's a little bit of nuance, kind of similar with a game like Unstable Unicorns or Here to Slay, where it's just you just need to be a little bit older so you can understand what each individual card does.
The words on the cards are very small, so it might be hard to read. However, I did play with my grandpa and he loved the game. The box says 2 to 6 people. I found it is not that fun with 2 people. You would need at least 3. I feel like you could theoretically play with more than 6 people. If you have 7 people at your game night, you could play with 7 people. I have not tried it, so I'm not sure how well that would work.
This game can probably be played as a team game. I would not recommend it, especially since it can be played with slightly larger groups anyway. But if you really want to, this probably works as a team game. This is a game where the amount of critical thinking definitely depends on the person. I love playing this game trying to think out every single move, especially since there's so many different cards and so many different ways you can play, and this game does kind of have a very sudden ending, so you want to be very strategic about when and how you're playing these cards. But I think there's at least a little bit of strategy that needs to go into this for every person, but you don't need to play with a ton of strategy.
You don't need anything. However, there is no token or anything to keep track as to who the player is that starts the round. So having a little token or something, we use a toothpick holder at my house to help determine who is the first player, will make the game a little bit easier. I would give this a solid 4 pouches. It is such a fun game. It's really cool. I have not yet met anyone who does not like the game. This was a fun game. As soon as I played it, I'm gonna buy it at Gen Con next year, and I did. And it's been a blast, and everyone I've played the game with has loved it.
I would give this game 4 pouches. I absolutely adored Doomlings when I've gotten to play it. It is definitely a game that's been on my bucket list to get in the future.
That's our review of Doomlings. Thanks for watching, and we'll sip you later.